Great Tom Ross, and we are back. And you know, sometimes in life, you're lying in bed and an idea clicks on your head. And I was thinking about Danny Bobus, and I said, you know, a great tribute would be naming Blue Parkway after him. And I put the idea, I said, you know, this would be a great tribute, memorial, rename Blue Parkway, the Danny Bobus Memorial Parkway, and I put it up on Facebook, and people loved the idea, and people were commenting, and then my friend over here came up with a better idea. Rename it the Laurelton Boulevard instead of Blue Parkway, because when you came down, the Blue Parkway is really not Long Beach, it's the town of Hempstead, whereas Laurelton Boulevard is right here in Long Beach. So Joanne's idea, to me, makes a lot more sense. And Joanne, the response to this has been unbelievable. What are your, first of all, your first reaction when you saw my post, and fill everybody in how many people have actually responded to this in less than a week, because it's really mind-boggling.
Howie, in less than a week, there's been almost 15,000 people. Before I left home to come over here, over 2,700 people have already committed and signed their name. It continues every day. I wake up, I sign onto Facebook, and there's hundreds more signing on to it. You know, when we were in that original page, Come Home Danny Bobus, and I saw your thing, let's rename that, I was thinking to myself, well, why not Laurelton Boulevard, since the connection is Laurelton Boulevard. When we went and we lit candles, it was at Laurelton Boulevard. That's where everyone feels the connection with Danny there. I would like to say that I am in no way, shape, or form a spokesperson for the family. I wanted it to be clear that none of this will be possible without Rachel and her family's blessing, and if and only when she decides the time is right to move forward. But I think it's so nice that when she comes home, she'll see how many people feel the love and want to give back to her and her husband for all they've done for us.
Yeah, I just feel that, you know, here's a person that touched so many people in his short life that it's really gratifying that over 15,000 people have responded to this idea, where his legacy will continue, and that's what it's all about. But just from your private emails and people talking to you, I can tell people really love this idea of, you know, keeping his name alive in a fitting way by having a boulevard named after him.
That's true. There's also people, and it's very understandable, Laurelton Boulevard holds a lot of history here in Long Beach. It isn't really about the naming of the street, it's just honoring a man, whether that be a plaque on the beach at Laurelton Boulevard. It all depends on what the family really wants. But I think just seeing, because I work for the school district and that's where my connection to them both are, just seeing all the names that signed up there, it gave these students here in Long Beach, it makes them feel like they're doing something, if only in the slightest way, just to sign their name, and that's really heartwarming.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and so many people have volunteered to set up fundraising. You see these little things for Bobus at the different stores. There's been fundraising drives, all sorts of ideas to raise money. So people in the community have really responded in such a positive way, and people just can't do enough to help out the Bobus family.
However, before I came up, I went to the Daniel Bobus info page on Facebook, and his closest of friends just made a post before I left that they're planning a major fundraiser. They are asking for anyone who has donations to please bring them to the Surf Association meeting tomorrow night at 7:30 at Long Beach High School. You can contact the poster at Danny Bobus Info if you need more information on that request.
You know, the great Jackie Robinson once made a comment, and he was a very courageous person, the first African-American baseball player in the major leagues. He said, your life is unimportant, it's the impact you have on others. Let's talk about, as you knew him, the impact Danny Bobus had in the Long Beach community, and especially the kids at Long Beach High School.
Well, seems to me that he could relate because he was such a diverse person, and he just, the things that he did was on an every person's level, and especially in this beach community. He did all the things that matter most to us. I think that's why he touched the community so much. The kids, what better way to reach these kids than to start a surfing? It's either surfing or skateboarding here in Long Beach. And it just snowballed. It was amazing. It was wonderful that he did that. And it inspired kids that sit in the classroom and just look out the window, and all they want to do is go surfing and forget about the academics. He brought them to the point, if you want that surfboard, you have to do your academics, and I think that's a great achievement.
You know, they say he loved music, he loved karate, he loved teaching math, but his real true first love was surfing. And they said he was a great surfer, and that's one of the reasons why he loved Long Beach, because he loved to get on the water and surf, and that was his real passion, surfing. And I'm sure he had a lot of pride to start that surf. And this is the first ever New York State first surf team at Long Beach, but they said that was really his true passion.
From what I know, yes it was, and I do know that he fought very hard to get that, and he was relentless in his fight to get it going for the kids. It wasn't all about him and his passion for it. It was giving the passion to the kids that he knew. So that was great, and he fought hard, and fighting the school board and fighting the district, that's not an easy accomplishment, but he did it.
Yeah, great, man. It was absolutely. And you know, speaking of surfing, I'm sure if Danny was here, he would be excited to meet John. John Eisman has the company 99 Surfboards, and we met John at the Long Beach Fair, and talk about passion for surfing. John actually makes surfboards, and if we can, we'll get a look at it later in the show. And John, talk about your company, 99 Surfboards, how it was created, and talk about obviously your passion for surfing, because obviously you can't make these state-of-the-art surfboards without having a great passion for surfing.
I started the company probably a year or so ago, but I've been sort of wanting to do this for the past 10 or 15 years. It started out probably around that time, 10, 15 years ago, that Grubby Clark, the guy from Clark Foam, who made 95% of the foam that went into making surfboards, up and quit. He decided he'd had it. He decided he doesn't want to do anymore. He wrote a multi-page screed on how the government was after him for environmental issues and for tax evasion. None of this was true. It just turns out he was nuts. So after I saw that article, I started panicking a little, because once he was out of business, there was nothing more to make surfboards out of, and I assumed my next surfboard would cost about $2,000 to $3,000 because of scarcity of resources. Started looking around the internet just to see how this was going to be dealt with, and how I was going to be able to surf again, and how I was going to not panic every time I went out there, hoping that I wouldn't break my next surfboard. Came across an article in the Honolulu Star about this company in Maine called Crane Surfboards. And what they do is they make wooden surfboards. But what they do differently is, the old surfboards were made out of solid piece of wood. Sometimes they take a little wood out from the inside and chamber them, and that would make a lighter board. But what they've done is rethink the whole idea of a wooden surfboard. They start out with a skeleton frame, sort of like an airplane wing. If you can imagine the Wright brothers airplane wing, covered in canvas. Rather than having canvas, it's covered in wood. And I just started looking around at their site and just started, let's just say, stealing ideas from that. That was 15 years ago. Unfortunately, I lived in Queens at the time, in a one-bedroom apartment. I had to sell my 9-foot surfboard because it didn't fit in the apartment. And also, I couldn't build a surfboard in that apartment. So that was kind of the beginnings of it.
All right, let's stand up and take a look at some of your work. One of you, we'll look at, on the radio, you can't visualize, but if you watch this show tomorrow, Long Beach Loves Surfing on the Halftime Howie show. John, describe this one surfboard here.
This is a 9-footer, it's a longboard. It's made out of cedar. You can see on the YouTube, not on the radio, that you got different colors here. It's the same kind of wood, it's just red cedar and white cedar. What I do is I cut these all into planks, and I glue them up, actually tongue and groove these kind of like a floor. so they held together a little bit better, so they had a little bit better gluing surface. And then inside here, you can actually check out this one. This one has the frame inside it. And after that frame is built, you put on the first plank on the bottom. And after that plank is done, you build up the rails. And after that's all done, you put on the top plank. And once that's all put together, it becomes more like shaping a traditional surfboard. What you do is you take a plane out and you start shaping the rails, start getting, you can feel the round up here, and they get a little bit sharper down at the bottom. And that just allows the water to squirt out the back a little faster so you get a little bit of drive.
All right. My great friend Tracy is going to love this one. I know Tracy's going to love this one. Here's the question. How did you come up with the name 99 Surfboards? Listen closely, listen closely, Tracy.
That's the address of my house.
Wait a second, but named after a famous hockey player?
Well, it was the address of my house, but you know, I also get the added advantage of Gretzky and Mark Gastineau.
We'll stop at Gretzky. But also, lastly, for people here in Long Beach or anywhere, how can they get one of these great surfboards?
You can go to Facebook and like my page at 99 Surfboards. It's the number 99 Surfboards. And get in touch with me. I'd love to hear from you.
All right, great. Let's give them a hand. Great stuff. And Andy, what do you think of those surfboards?
Hey, they look great to me.
All right, excellent.
That's a good one to spin.
All right, we have my good friend from the Long Beach Chamber of Commerce. The best chamber here in all Long Island is the Long Beach Chamber of Commerce. We're going to take a break. We're all wearing these 99 surfboard shirts. They're awesome. We're going to take a break, and after the break, we're going to talk about Quicksilver. We're going to talk about the music for Quicksilver. We're going to talk about what's happening here in the Long Beach community, and yes, Tracy will reflect on the Islander vote from last night. She's not happy. She'll tell you why. More fun coming up. This is Broadcasting on the Beach with Halftime Howie, live from the prestigious offices of Pecnic and Schaefer right here in beautiful Long Beach. More fun coming up after the break. Long Island's first and oldest radio station, WGA, baby.